So when you have that basic framework of hematopoiesis, this is how things are supposed to develop normally. And when you have abnormalities, then it gives rise to an abundance of blood cell cancers. Now, in order to think that you might have a blood cell cancer, you have to find something that's abnormal in that process. And so what are our main ways of looking for something that's abnormal within that process? We can look for three things. So an abnormal phenotype. So as you go through that process, there are certain proteins that are expressed on the cell surface, and it's supposed to happen in a particular pattern. So if you see things that are not following that pattern, either proteins that are there that are not supposed to be there, or loss of proteins that should normally be there, then that's an abnormal phenotype. And there are different ways of testing for that information. The tests are flow cytometry and IHC, or immunohistochemistry. Sometimes you can see an abnormal phenotype or difference in maturation just because the cells look weird, and so decrease in maturation. So sometimes just using the microscope can help you see that it's not acting correctly. The other main branch is clonality. So if the same thing is cloned too many times, that's another marker of abnormality within the hemepath world. And there's different ways of studying that. You can look at immunoglobulin heavy chain studies by PCR. You can look at T cells, PCR. Other ways are looking at the way that the chromosomes are rearranged, so with cytogenetics or FISH, or looking at particular gene mutations, so specific A to G mutations or whatever in the DNA through next generation sequencing. A final big marker for abnormal is the one that's actually probably most relevant to you, which is doing bad things. So when the patient comes in and they say they've had night sweats, chills, and there's this big 10 centimeter mass in their neck, that's doing a bad thing. They're having symptoms. You can see that from the physical exam or CT or ultrasound and that sort of thing. Masses in the retroperitoneum, you might see something there. You get the CBC back and the white blood cell count is 300,000. That's not good. Or by the same effect, the white blood cell count is 0.3. Or, we look at the platelets, and the platelets are like 1 million, or they're less than 20. So all of these, and then, by the same token, even if the red cell mass is increased. So if you have a hematocrits, say 17, 18, 19, then that's going to be a problem. Or by, on the other side, if you have a hematocrit of 6, you're going to be concerned. So you need all three of these components to be able to specifically diagnose something in the hemepath world.